Welcome to episode 7 of the No Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, and joined with me today, a man who may or may not have been on a boat before, Stephen. How you going, Stephen?
You know, I'm good. I've been on a boat once. Oh, actually, twice. When I was in Sydney. You fuck.
Don't believe this, man. Don't believe this, man.
Look
at this man's face. Does this look like a trustworthy fella to you? This is not a man who's been on a boat, all right? Don't believe his lies.
Don't fucking rock my boat, all right?
we do a little gaslighting. So I hope you've been doing well, mate. I hope you've been having a good week.
Yeah. It's been a long one, but it's good. Got quite a few things on the docket. Some good stuff.
Dude, we actually have so much on here. I say that, and it's going to be our shortest episode ever. Just there's actually a fucking heap to talk about. So fuck it, let's just get into it. The first thing I want to actually address, I'm going to move it around in the document slightly. We had our AI chat last time, and I talked to Script about. Well, he talked to me about it, our homie, and was like, "Oh yeah, one of the things that you said was actually really easily done already." And I was like, "What?" He said that, and we were just spitballing. It was just kind of like, what are things? Because at the end of the day, we need these intelligent game developers to think of ways that they can actually utilize it, not two fucking morons in the, in their bedrooms or spare rooms just fucking spitballing who don't know anything about game design. But it was the idea of like an oracle that knows everything. And Chris is like, yeah, you could just essentially do that as a quest log. I was like, oh fuck, all right. Yeah, that's, you're right. It's really dumb. At first I was like, nah, it'll take a bit to implement. And he was like, not really. And I was like, oh yeah, Chris, you're right, my dude. I still think there are going to be good ways going forwards. Not like the Ubisoft catching strays, but
it's just becoming a segment now.
I can't help myself. I keep fucking up. But apparently a lot of their like non-main character like dialogue and stuff now, because they were talking about tools they've developed to like create dialogue. And then you just get all these super fucking boring NPCs that are just essentially rehashed from all their other stuff, from all their writers. I've never thought they've had exciting NPCs regardless, and they're probably going to get more boring from this. So, main characters are fine. I liked the villains in Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 5. I thought they were cool. So, just wanted to bring that up before we got into things, because not my best take, but we're just spitballing. We're just trying to think of ideas.
I think one thing you should ask Script is my idea of NPCs. The way that they react to you is AI reactions of your search history. He did say the idea though in the future of like these very dynamic NPCs. You could have NPCs that are giving you dialogue that no one else is experiencing because it's completely based on everything else you've done in the game and so on, and it just kind of changes to world events and so on, right? And someone just posted like, "Hey, I've put like 600 hours plus into this game, and I've never gotten this dialogue." And then someone replies back like, "That's very interesting. Footlicker for 2069."
Yeah, I don't know, the way I worded that there made it sound like you're doing the Oracle thing again. It's like, no, never. But just purely based on every potential game stage, and always like, and just having these NPCs being completely dynamic, and just I think it could be really cool. But I think that stuff is going to be real bad before it's real good. It's going to take a long time. And just after I was criticizing Ubisoft for their, boring NPCs using AI. So I do think that stuff has potential, and I think it's interesting. Like it was actually one of my younger brother's friends when we were in high school, and he was talking about his dream was to make a game where your characters like will never repeat the same line of dialogue ever. And like
at all when they're like in combat and stuff like that, and they're saying quips or saying whatever. And he was like, my dream. And this was like probably when the Xbox 360, the PS3 were out. He was like, I would love to make a game where you're never going to hear the same voice lines at all. I was like, well, that would take so long, but maybe one day there could be a reality.
Just get everyone to from games going forward. Just everyone speaks like The Sims.
Right.
Problem solved.
I'd love that. Yeah. So
break the immersion for my visual novels that I don't play.
Oh, you played that one. What was it?
Played multiple.
What was that one? Kill the Princess or whatever.
Oh, that was Slay the Princess. That was so good.
I still got to play that.
He won't.
As much as I'm not.
He hates
I probably
reading.
won't. I hate reading. I hate women. You know, I can't play.
He hates feeling something.
None of these things are true. Wow. Actually, you know what? I don't love reading in games anymore. You know, there was a time and place. You had to read all the dialogue. Now I'm like, look, you could just speak the lines into my ear holes, mate. We've come far enough. Something though, I'm not seeing the little timer on my thing. Normally it tells me how long we're going, and I'm not seeing it right now.
We're 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, bro, it's moved up the top. You sneaky application, you. Look, if we were professional, I'd cut that out, but, you know, I'm not professional. So I wanted to talk about why I moved the AI thing up is because there was another AI thing to talk about as well. So they made Quake 2, I think it was. Quake 1 or Quake 2, playable in a web browser, and it was just AI in terms of like so I think it had every single frame in there, but it knew from your input. And yeah, it didn't run real smooth. It ran laggy, but it knew from your input like which kind of frame to play next. So it was completely in browser, and it's all AI Quake. And in terms of like the use of technology and the technology growing, I do think it's cool. Everyone's just mad because everything AI, internet bad. And then John Carmack, you know, the guy who, you know, did most of the programming in Quake was like, damn, boy, this is cool as fuck. People were really upset about it. But he's always a guy that's been about pushing the technology forwards. And he's like, this is what this is. This isn't like, don't look at this and be like, damn, this is a great way to play Quake. This is like more about the technology. And I imagine as well for some of it, just stuff possibly in future being procedurally generated as you go ahead kind of thing.
And it's going to look damn good on a CV.
Oh, absolutely. Look
so
great.
I made this.
I made Quake 2 again at AI, but I also didn't make it. John Carmack did. And John Romero and many others, but
and John Quake.
John Quake, yeah, that was the man, and that's where the name comes from. John Quake himself. Many Johns. Hey, Keith. Hey? Sorry about me, just patting the dog. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool, and just seeing John Carmack talk about it anyway, because he is a tech guy. Man is a literal rocket scientist as well. He was a massive pioneer in the VR space. Helped make fucking Doom. So, yeah. I think that people need to look at these things a little differently. I understand as well. I understand the scare of it's got to take care of jobs, but it's like anything with automation, man. It is coming. It's coming for all of us. So enjoy.
So the episode of SpongeBob where they said that one of Mr. Krabs' fears is fear of being overtaken by robot overlords.
Yeah, I mean, very relatable, to be honest, in current day. So SpongeBob, once again, ahead of the game. So now...
Basically the Simpsons.
Yeah, because you're a simp, son. Call me Homer because I'm a simp, son. So I need to talk about my favourites again. My absolute favourites. I love talking about Ubisoft. But Ubisoft have taken on a large investment of about 1.25 billion, so USD. I think it was originally in euros, and the translated figure I saw was USD, and I'm not translating that to New Zealand dollars because, you know, fuck them. For 25% in this subsidiary. So the idea is Ubisoft, they're like, we're going to take
we're going to take Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, and we're going to spin them off into this other, subsidiary, and we're going to make those games, and the rest of Ubisoft is left with whatever's there, right? And it really seems like what's going to happen is that other part of the company is just going to fucking die. And then they've got this much smaller, lighter, more nimble Ubisoft with the big marquee franchises that they'll keep alive. So, will we get another Rayman? Because what else does they have? Do they have? Look, nailed it. Boom.
A Child of Light 2? Nah.
I would love Child of Light 2 though. I want a 2D or a 3D Rayman. I'll have either. Well, you've got Prince of Persia. You've got Beyond Good and Evil, which that sequel's been in development hell. And I'm sure there is plenty of other IP. So that it says here Rainbow Six, but I don't know if that just means like Tom Clancy. Like, is the Division part of that? I don't know. But I don't love the Tencent investment. Tencent getting their tendrils and fucking everything. So not a big fan of that. But this is what's going to happen. And there is still good stuff. As a historic Ubisoft hater, there is good stuff that can come from this. Like, I do think we may, if they can be more focused, maybe they'll get more focused and better Assassin's Creed games. Far Cry, I think, is still fine. Like I say, I don't think they've evolved in a long time, but I wouldn't say Far Cry is like a bad franchise at all. Every game they've put out is at least good. I'd love to see a new Division game because I know they cancelled one previously. Have you got any thoughts on this? Anything you want to see from either side of these Ubisofts?
I know that the meme is they catch strays for good reason, but at the end of the day, don't want to see companies fail. We want
not at all.
Companies to pump out good shit.
Yeah. We just want them to do. We just want them to be better. We just want them to put out the best products they can put out and not rip us off at the end of the day.
But wouldn't it be funny if basically the second main studio do like the Assassin's Creed, their Splinter Cell, basically their breadwinners, and be like, yeah, and we're gonna announce a new Rayman, a new Child of Light. And they're like, yeah, it's like that new studio, and it's gone. It's like,
yeah, oh man, yeah. I wonder as well with that. 'Cause you said Splinter Cell. I'd be interested to see if it depends on what they do with this, because how they specifically said Rainbow Six. So I wonder if those other Tom Clancy franchises are part of that, and maybe if they are on the other side of the fence, maybe they do another Splinter Cell finally, because people have been wanting a good stealth game for fucking ages. Because there just are not very many of them these days. You hear it all the time. When people want to like prime Metal Gear Solid back. And it was like, well, we ain't getting a Metal Gear Solid. There is that. Hideo Kojima's got a couple of... What was that?
Delta?
Yeah, Delta's coming out as well. It is a remake though, but it's still... We're not getting any like true new Metal Gear Solid. Because Metal Gear Survive was a shit show. So, yeah, people are hungering. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. people do hunger for a new stealth game. So it would be interesting to see if they do try their hand at doing that again. Hitman is probably bigger than ever as well. I know that studio's making a James Bond game as well, which would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
So I imagine it's going to be a little bit more... I don't want to say guns blazing, because you can go guns blazing in Hitman, but I imagine it's going to be less stealth in disguise. Like, James Bond is an assassin, so there will still be a bit of that. But if you watch like the new films, like Daniel Craig, he's also just out there fucking brawling. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. I'm trying to remember, is that IO Interactive? I feel like that's the name of the studio. I could be wrong. Fuck it, we ball.
So just on the topic of stealth games, This is like older, but did you ever play that game, Origami?
No, I didn't. Is that the ninja one?
Yeah, where the whole gimmick was you hide in shadows, you become shadow, and you assassinate. It's cool. And I remember playing the second one where there was a lot of like just hack and slash elements to it. People's like, this is nice, but it's not the spirit of the first game, which was a pure mainly a stealth game.
Yeah, I get that. I'm more into the hack and slash personally, but
Because you're impatient.
Look, you wanna see impatient, all right? You have to meet my girlfriend, okay? Because she does not want to wait for fucking anything. I've had
like
to try to
gaslighting.
teach her patience. Oh god, I'm
We
so
love
good at
lying on
gaslighting.
the internet.
Look, she'd tell you first that she is impatient. I've had to try to teach her patience. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I'd rather go in guns blazing because I'm like, it's a video game, but I completely understand people wanting stealth, and I like the option of stealth. Like Sekiro, the way I played that for a lot of the time was like, okay, go stealth. Oh, I've been found out. All right, let's fucking do this and just go start blasting my sword.
My sword.
Then I started slashing. So yeah, I think it's great when that can be done well. There's a PSP game. Was it Shinobi Do? Are you a Shinobi Do? And that had a lot of stealth, and I loved that game. That game was cool as hell. So there's definitely I think there's definitely some room for it. Oh, that's right. I was going to say Hideo Kojima's working on many projects. I mean, Death Stranding 2 is coming out later this year, and there's that OD with Microsoft. And then there's that one, Fizzant, which apparently is also going to have a movie, which it sounds like is inspired by Metal Gear Solid. So we'll be getting something. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what that's about. But I need to get back to Death Stranding, because the last time I played it was like, man, I really just delivered packages for 3 hours and unlocked fucking nothing. And I was like, I just can't do this. Because the first 3 hours, I was like, this is fucking great. What the fuck are these? What the fuck are BDs? So I've got a BB, dude. I've got acronyms for days. It was cool as hell. And then, the next 3 hours was just delivering packages and, So, I need to get back to it. But I need to get back to mini games.
No, I just remember seeing that that video of the main character, Norman Reedus. Is that it?
Yeah. Sam Porter Bridges.
Sure.
That's his name. That's his fucking name.
I thought he was Mr. Stranding. Dan Stranding.
Well, that might be a slight spoiler for the game.
Oh, shit. Just this video of him just constantly falling down a hill, and the baby is getting so distressed about it.
Yeah. Oh, man. When the baby's crying, I'm like, oh, man, I fucked up. Like, I gotta calm this baby down. Yeah. So it actually makes it really tense, and you're holding down the triggers. You're like, holy shit, and there's things around you, and you're trying to calm the fucking baby down, and then your character's got to hold his breath, and you're like, ugh. It gets really tense at the moment. So, there's nothing else like it. Look, good or bad, there is really nothing else like it. So I watched a video this week. This leads into the Ubisoft thing, and I know Ubisoft catch and strays or whatever. It is what it is. But the YouTuber Mini Kudos, who's a Kiwi, which is cool. I think he lives over in Oz. He was talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows and was just doing a comparison to Ghost of Tsushima. And I know as well, for some people, that's all pretty tiresome now. Of like, the games are quite different, but just in terms of how much more respect that Sucker Punch showed Japanese culture than like Ubisoft did. And I think for a lot of the stuff for Assassin's Creed Shadow, I think people are nitpicking pretty hard, to be fair. I think they are. But just when you see and he was like really gassing up Assassin's Creed Shadows and on its strengths as well. But the thing that really caught my attention, and I don't know which currency he used for this, but he talked about how in Assassin's Creed Shadows there's $600 of microtransactions in the store in the game, in a single player game. $600 in a full price game. And Ghost of Tsushima
had a DLC for $20. They gave you like a full-on kind of expansion, and they added like a free online mode and stuff later, and it was like $20, fucking sweet as, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, I think the monetization in gaming and single-player AAA games has gone way too fucking crazy. And I know it's free-to-play and mobile games are partly to blame, but when I see egregious microtransactions in a free-to-play game, I'm not as mad about it when I see it in those as I am a game that they're asking for $120.
Exactly.
You know, pick a fucking lane. Like, sure, if you want to charge, let's say you charge half price, right? So in New Zealand, they're $120 for a AAA game most of the time these days. You charge me $60, right? Yeah, fucking okay. Chuck a few microtransactions in there as long as you're not getting fucking silly on it. Not free to play level, sure, right? That's fine. You can double dip a little bit, but when you're doing the whole, oh yeah, here you go. Here's $120 game. If you want all these extra little cosmetics, it's gonna be $600. And I know they're cosmetics, right? End of the day, you don't have to buy them, but the fact that they're in there and they're just trying to fucking milk this extra money out of people, like, bro, $600. Get fucked. Get absolutely fucked.
Especially get fucked when you'd sort of be in the mindset that you're paying like that amount of dosh for a game. It's just like, this is going to be a complete game. It's almost like, it's like, sweet, it costs X, that's fine. I can unlock all these things, but I don't know. It's just for a like $100 and something like full release games, like just trying to squeeze nickel and dime out of like the consumer. Again, like gachas, get it. Free to play games, I get it. But like a AAA game, like a completed work, it's like how can we make more money from this money?
Yeah, I just can't get behind it. And when I see games do it, I'm far less likely to just spend money on their game. Like, just straight up. Like, I could see a game that if I'm like, oh, I might be interested in buying that, and I see you got $600 in microtransactions in your AAA game store, that could be the thing that, completely persuades me not to buy the game. Like, it's that simple.
What about if you can say you got a game, you paid $100 for it, and there are microtransactions, $600 worth, but you could just grind out or craft those, though the $600 in microtransactions are just shortcuts. How do you feel about that?
Depends on how big the grind is, ultimately.
You don't like grinding.
Fuck off. I hate grinding. All right. I grind in almost no games ever because I'm like, fuck you, don't waste my time. I want to brute force this, or I want to have enough skill that I don't have to grind. Like every Pokemon game I can get through without grinding. Every single one of them. I mean, they're really easy now, but the old ones, I'm like, I ain't fucking grinding. Yeah, I'll go fight Red with a level 50 team and get rolled like 10 times, but I will keep coming back and I will find a way to fucking beat him.
This guy is so anti-grind, he doesn't even level up his Pokemon.
Nah, I don't believe in it, mate. I don't believe in it. I just keep them all level 5 and hope for the best. Even though that's impossible now, because you couldn't beat the gyms without getting XP, and you now get XP for catching Pokemon, and there's XP share and everything. But yeah, I don't get any, mate. I'm not about that life.
No,
not for me.
Everstone's for days.
You're not allowed to evolve.
Hold this rock.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you hold this rock for a sec? Got him.
Trade this Marchant holding a Everstone. You're welcome.
Yeah, and then you're like, you just get, oh, he's trading me a Macho, great, and then it never evolves. You're like, you motherfucker. Where are his extra arms? He's supposed to have 4 arms.
Where is it?
But yeah, I'm not. It would really depend on though how big of a grind it was to get those resources. If it was just like they're giving them out, so that's the thing I hear about Dragon's Dogma. Didn't love the way Capcom implemented those
those microtransactions in there. But my understanding is like, look, it's actually really not that hard. If you want to go out in the world, you can get these items pretty easy. Like I say, don't love that they're in there, but they've given you enough tools to get all those items yourself. So it's not. I would prefer if it wasn't there, but it's not egregious. So I am accepting of that as much as I don't love it. It doesn't disincentivize me enough to be like, it wouldn't rock the boat enough for me to lose interest in the game entirely. In that context. Dick? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry. Some of us here have been on boats, but you know, I don't like to brag or anything, but yeah, I've been on boats a couple of times, you know. Went out on a fishing boat once and got colder, mate. That was pretty cool. So we saw a big old shark. Have you seen a shark? No, you haven't, because you haven't been on a fucking boat. This is a bit we're gonna do to death. I know. This going forwards it's the new bit.
We're gonna sink it.
Absolutely. Oh, I love a good cough, mate. Oh. At least,
I love it because I can't hear it, but I just see.
You just see me struggling. I might need some Wilder.
The face get redder, the microphone shake.
Oh yeah, there's some hearty coughs on me, mate. So yeah, I know Ubisoft. I'd say I'm sorry, but I'm not. I want you to do better, please. Like, please just do better. You have so much potential.
It's
There's
like
so much good IP there, just waiting to get some love, but you just keep doing this stupid shit.
It's kind of like that meme of the guy who's looking down at I think it might be a dog, or something. You just put the Ubisoft logo over it, and he's prodding it with a stick. He's like, "Come on, do something!" It's like, "Come on, make a good game."
Yeah, and my understanding is that Assassin's Creed Shadows is decent. It's good. I hear it's not amazing, but most people who've played it seem to have good things to say about it.
Still Assassin's Creed in my book, so I'm not.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same.
I don't find it enticing.
Not at all for me. But you know what? It's Ubisoft, so it'll go on sale in 2 years for like $10. Maybe I'll fucking pick it up.
Hey.
They always do that. Them and EA's like, you want the last year or Battlefield from 2 years ago, mate? It's $5. I'm like, all right, you convinced me. And then I'll play it maybe once or twice and be like, yeah, that's Battlefield. Not a bad thing, but I just kind of knew what I was getting. So,
thanks, Bubisoft.
Yeah, we love them. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna.
We love them, Bubisoft.
We love soft boobs. That's for sure, mate.
Boob, singular.
Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. I feel like a fucking idiot. Anyway, Steven's like, I like them hard. I like them solid like a rock.
I like them textured like fucking wet sandbags.
Oh, yeah. Mate, we love a bit of 40-year-old virgin. Feel like a bag of sand. This is genuinely the first segment. I was like, man, I should probably cut this, but, you know, I won't, because fuck it, we ball. Also, never say Bubisoft again. Don't say it. This opened up a whole can of worms. So I put a little note on here, and I was like, is Silksong ever coming out? And then Switch 2 News announces like, yeah, Silksong's got to be coming out. So I was like, oh, okay. So we'll get to that one real soon, but I just thought it was funny to leave that in there. It's like, is Silksong ever coming out? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, moving on.
Yes, I do. On Switch 2.
Yeah, we got Samuel Jackson up in here. My man. Just don't do blackface, Stephen. Just don't do it. Please don't.
No.
Please don't. He's
I
talking
won't.
about it. He talked about doing it. He's like, I might do it on the next one. I'm like, Stephen, I know you're like a little bit culturally ambiguous, but I don't think you can pull it off, mate.
I'm going to open up our next one before I'm on camera. It's like, have you seen my tan?
It's me, Justin Trudeau. Yeah. That'd be pretty wild.
I won't do it.
Please don't. Please just go on a boat before you do that, mate. Like, there'll be 2 firsts for you by the next episode.
He went on a boat. Cool. In blackface. Oh.
We're both you're disappointed in yourself, but you're like, oh, I thought it was going to be a funny bit. It wasn't. They asked me to leave. I still got to step on the boat though.
Step on.
Yeah, they didn't take you. They didn't take you across the channel though, mate. Ubisoft. Hog Leg Definitive Edition has been cancelled by Warner Brother, and I was like, why? Why'd you cancel this? This game sold silly amounts of copies. It's like the first time in how long that it wasn't that the best-selling game of the year wasn't a Rockstar game, a Call of Duty, or Guitar Hero. In like the entire, I can't remember how many years, like 20 years, Hog Leg like was a breakout success. Really, they absolutely killed it with it, and they were going to, we got some new content, cook it up and stuff, and they're like, no, we're cancelling it. Like, I don't know what the fuck Warner Brothers is doing over there. They're closing down some great studios as well. I know, yeah, they're fucking up and not making enough money. I get it. But why would you cancel this? This was just going to print more fucking money. Yeah, maybe they're making Hog Leg 2 Electric Boogaloo. But I don't understand. You were just going to print money, have it come out on the Switch 2 to be like, look, hey, we got Definitive Edition here. Probably sell another 3 million fucking copies or something. I don't know, man. I just think Warner Brothers just can't make a good fucking decision. Yeah, like them and Ubisoft, and just dragging them back into it. Every time I see what they're doing, I'm just like, I just can't believe it. I'm in disbelief.
The merge name would be Soft Brothers.
Me, every time they announce a game, I'm soft, brother. Ubisoft, make my dick hard, okay? That's all I fucking want. I don't mean anime titties, by the way. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about games with women with large thighs because of tough economic times like that. Japanese game director said. That to me as well, that's so wild that he said that, because I'm like, I believe it too. He genuinely believes like there's tough economic times. We got to make the character's thighs bigger, and it worked. It fucking worked. Dude, he's onto something there. He's onto something. That dude, that's the man. That man, we got to let him cook.
Mm.
Think about all these tariffs incoming, bro. Those thighs are going to get so big. It's going to be insane.
It's just like
you're not going to be able to fit them on the fucking cover up.
It's like, sir, the big boobs aren't drawing in an audience. What about big legs? They might be crazy enough to work.
My God, he's a madman. He's right.
What about big thighs? Like, can he do that?
Is that a thing? I've never seen big thighs. Like, whoa! Everyone's just like, I point at the screen. I do it every fucking time, and I'm like, oh, the camera's there. But I'm a special boy. Don't mind me. So, yeah. What do you think? You got any thoughts
on Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah.
Sucks, because I mean, as someone who is like read the Harry Potter books as a kid, and then when I thought the franchise was finished, I was like, cool, I'll put this behind me. The thought of like a Hogwarts MMO like floated for years, and then we get Hogwarts Legacy. There's the whole controversy around that, but I was just like, please make another Quidditch game, because Quidditch World Cup was so good, and they did.
Guess what? Yeah, I was gonna say, guess what? They did. I think it would have been better to implement that into Hog Leg. Hell, even if they did it like, here's a $20 DLC, now we got a big Quidditch expansion. You know, I think would have been better than the standalone game, but it'll be different edges. It'd be probably quite difficult to do. But I do hope in the sequel that they manage to do that, because surely they're working on a sequel. It sold like 20 odd million copies. Like, I'll see if I can find that exact number. Hog Leg game sales. Let's see. Pull it up. 30 million units. Yeah, it's fucking massive. That's So if they are not doing a sequel, what are you doing, Warner Brothers? I feel like Warner Brothers, they make a lot of these mistakes, but I don't think they're that fucking stupid. Because that is just licensed to print money.
And
Dude,
then
if you sell half the amount of copies on the next one, you sell 15 million units, that's still going to be insanely profitable.
and what next? Hog leg characters make themselves into MK1.
Look, it could happen. That's another Warner Brothers one, man. I couldn't believe like the monetization and that little. I know that one of them was called like the Crypt, and it's like, oh, you got a little bit of resource to play the campaign. Yeah, but you didn't get enough to unlock many of these things. You give us money. Warner Brothers is so greedy, man. I can't believe that they let Hogleg not get greeted like that as well, like they do for so many of the other games now.
I want to say that the Crypt was in 10.
Or it may have been a 9. Oh, it was a one of them. It might have been 10. But they got more egregious as time went on.
Actually, it could have been a 9 because I remember that if you just haven't, if you're just walking through the crypt, you haven't done anything in a while, you'll get a random jump scare.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look about the Crypt. Special feature of the Mortal Kombat games. Debut in Deadly Alliance. Did not return on MK1. Deception, Armageddon. It was a 9, reboot, 10, 11. Yeah. Yeah, so it was in a lot of them. And it did get more egregious as the games went on. Because I don't think the one in 9 was actually particularly egregious.
No, because that's how you got, like... That's how you got their second fatalities and stuff. And... Pretty sure you could just get currency from, I want to say, towers, which was great.
Yeah, I think they just got a little bit more. I think they skimped on it a bit more in the later ones.
What are you going to do?
What they do. I think as well, there is a. We're at a time, I think fighting games cost a lot of money to make and they don't sell real well. I know Mortal Kombat sells well. I know that Smash Bros sells well, but not anything. The others don't sell. They sell like a few million, right? Which is good, but the games cost so much to make that they have to have additional monetization in them, and they have to be doing characters and season passes. But I think it just ends up being rough because you feel like you're being nickeled and dimed. But I just don't think the economics of a fighting game work out like they used to. And I think that Mortal Kombat gets a little too silly on it than the others. But yeah, it probably is a harsh reality of making fighting games in current day.
Because it is, like, still in current day, a niche genre of games.
Yeah, I think I heard Tekken 8 had sold like 3 million copies, which it's nothing to scoff at, but when Hog League's selling literally 10 times that, you know.
I guess they probably also, to build up like the reputation and stuff, is tournaments. I think we're going through the Red Bull Kumite at the moment.
Oh yeah?
And these usually have like a sizable prize pool.
I just don't know how much desire there is in like for the pro scenes of fighting games at the moment. It feels like fighting game pro scenes were bigger not that long ago, but maybe it'll pick back up again. I hope it will. It usually does when a new fighting game comes out. There is a moment where it becomes hype again for a while, but I think because Mortal Kombat 1 was not received that well, that there's less eyes on it, especially because Mortal Kombat sells way better than, other than of course Smash, but way better than the other fighters, which I don't understand because I like Mortal Kombat, but I'm like, dude, this is not better than Tekken or Street Fighter. I'm like, I don't think it's in the same league at all. I also really like Injustice. Injustice 1 and 2 are great. Really enjoy them. I just don't think they're in the same leagues as some of these other fighting games. I think it's a step below, but I still think they're still really good. And I loved Mortal Kombat 9 because I fucking destroyed all my mates in that game.
I have a fond memory of 9 My brother was fighting a friend of ours, and my brother wasn't doing too well in the sets, and I was just like to him, I was like, "Wait, I'll jump in," and then I started wrecking, and so my brother got quite a few, won a couple of sets, and then Jesse, he's just like, "Steven jumped on, didn't he?" And my brother's like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, I could tell."
Salty.
No, he wasn't salty. It's just like I went from dominating to, huh?
Something's up here.
Yeah, some things I miss.
Yeah. So we were on the fence about talking about it because we looked at it as a large doc, but we're talking about fighting games. We may as well talk about what's happening with Tekken 8 right now. So you know a lot more about this than I do, Stephen. So I'll get you to take it away.
So, from my understanding, is there has been quite a fair amount of pushback to season 2, mainly because the game has been lacking defense options. And as we've played all the Tekken games, you know, maybe a character's not that overly tuned, but you know their frame rate data, and you've got strategies to the point where I didn't know King was a defensive character till you said that.
And it's only because I play him really offensive. I'm not playing defensive. I'm not playing the grapple combos. I'm playing like a defensive King, which is probably a scrub move, but it catches people off guard. And he's actually got a lot of good offensive options.
So basically, the people making it, that was like, we've listened to your complaints about some characters being overly tuned, some of them being like underperforming, and usually with like Street Fighter, when they will roll before they implement the patch, they will roll out, hey, this is what's getting changed, and it'll have a nice sometimes in depth, depending on how much the character needs tuning, they will just have a big list of things that have changed. Like characters have received buffs and nerfs. Like a buff I love about Luke is his EX Sandblast. It pins them up against the wall if they're close enough now. So, and yeah, there will be characters that will dominate one season. So they fine tune them, they'll nerf them. But from my understanding, instead of nerfing overly tuned characters, everyone just got a buff. And it's become a very aggressive button mashing affair.
It's become a lot like more hyper offense.
Yes.
Feels like your offensive options are far better than your defensive options. And as someone who watches a little bit of Pro Tekken, I prefer when there's more offensive options than defensive, because there was the whole, for years you had like it was the Korean backdash meta, right? And you had guys like Knee and Saint and stuff that were are Korean players. They're still Korean.
They were.
I haven't checked recently. I can't be 100%, but I'm quite sure they're still both Korean. But the game was super defensive, and you see the characters just like not throwing any moves at all, and it's still like a high skill game at that, but it's way less interesting to watch. And I wonder if it was like, well, we don't want to get Tekken back to that point, because a lot of people didn't like watching the game, and a heap of people didn't like playing it, because it was all about just like, you don't want to be the one to make the first move, you just want to punish them, and that's kind of boring. So I like that there's more offensive options in the game. However, they've probably gone a little too ham on it. There's too much offense, and they probably need to dial it back and find a better balance in that regard, because you want a bit of both. I think both is good. You want to enable all styles of play, but ultimately the game probably needs to be balanced better around pro play, because the game's been out for
or over a year now, and though it's only your hardcore audience who's still playing it. You need a balance for that like high level of play more than anything.
And I'm gonna say it. I don't care for heat. I feel that sort of changes. It's moving Tekken away from what it used to be. Like at first, I wasn't thrilled about the rage arts because I was just like, that's a 2D fighting game mechanic. Grew accustomed to it, and some people in high levels, they won't throw them out unless they get like a mean punish.
And most of the time, they'd rather use like the rage damage to just, do a big combo instead of like a rage art as well.
Yeah.
It's only when it's guaranteed you're like, oh, I'll be able to kill them if I hit them with this launcher and then rage art. So they did add a lot of skill to the high tier play as well, as it also added to low tier play because sometimes all you had to do was hit that rage art to get the win.
And it's real funny because like I'll see on the Street Fighter Reddit, and there'll be like quite a few, as they call themselves, Tekken refugees. They're just like, we don't like the state our game is in the moment. We want to give this a crack. I was like, that's cool. Because I know there was a while where it's just like, oh, you play 2D fighting games?
You calling me out from 15 years ago?
Yeah. Nah, but I get it.
That was, to be fair, it was actually before we're slinging some shade at Mortal Kombat. Well, not shade, actually, because I still really like Mortal Kombat. But it was Mortal Kombat 9 that I was like, oh man, 2D fighters are actually kind of cool. That was really it for me, and then I actually started appreciating them. But there's a whole thing in New Zealand as well where we used to go to these fighting game things. There was through the university, there was a thing called Mash Masters. It was like a group of like guys that were into fighting games and stuff. And we watched Evo at a fucking Robbie's. it was fucking wicked, bro. It was really cool. Me and Steven and the mythical figure in our lives, Gammy, who we'll reference from time to time. I like to think of Gammy as like a cryptid, in a way, like Gammy's like Bigfoot, like walking past the camera.
Robbie's is an Irish pub just for the people playing at home.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how common Robbies are, to be fair. Not that common anymore. Where was I going with that? The Robbies thing. And they talked about how historically the Tekken players, at least in Christchurch where we live, were like really, there was like an ego to these Tekken players that all your other fighting game people would hang out, all your Smash people would hang out, all your Street Fighter people, your King of Fighters, and all Tekken people like, we play Tekken. And it was like this weird like elitism. And growing up in New Zealand, there was a bit of that. I only played Tekken. I didn't play any of the other fighting games. And then you actually start playing them and you're like, oh man, this shit's actually kind of fucking lit. This shit kind of rules. So I have a bigger appreciation for them now than I did when I was, in my teens and so on. It really wasn't until like my early adulthood I started playing and I was like, oh man, pulling off a Hadouken actually feels kind of good.
And I definitely feel like games like, Street Fighter and like Guilty Gear has helped open up people to 2D fighters.
It was the biggest one in recent years, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
You got so many more casual kind of, I wouldn't say casuals, but people who are not as into fighting games playing it, and really good way of doing the auto combos are not the best compared to the combos you can pull off, but it just made it easier to get to like maybe low mid-level play, I would say,
to get a feel for the game.
Yeah, I wasn't pulling out some of these big combos like the min-maxed best combos, but I would still beat people pretty well because my timing was pretty good, and then I'm like, cool, and then I can auto combo here, then I can do a beam here, okay, sweet. And it just made the game like quite accessible for a high-level fighting game, and that is so rare. So that's a game that did things
right? And dude, I hope we get another Fighters at some point because that'd be amazing. Because I like Guilty Gear, but I'm not really a Guilty Gear guy at the end of the day. It's not really my preferred, as much as I can appreciate the game.
There's this. I hated it at first, but then I was like, it's kind of cool. It's a bit different. So you have, usually I think arcade mode is the story mode, meaning like you'll get reason why the person's fighting, and then you'll get a conclusion when you've beat X amount of people and final boss. Their story mode is just a 3D anime.
Ah.
Yeah, and I was just like, so is it going to have fight scenes cut out through it? Nah. And I was just like, let's see what this goes. And I watched it and I was like, not bad.
Yeah. That's not for me, though. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have, like, there's an anime that runs beside it, right? And it's like, oh, you can get this, and this will give you more context and so on, but I'd rather just have the game. Back to something in Tekken. We were talking about Heat. We've been talking about Tekken for ages, so I was like, we were talking about Heat like 10 minutes ago. I actually like the Heat mechanic. But I think it is, once again, similar in the way that Rage works, that Heat in the hands of the right player is really good, right? Because you could deal chip, and you can really just play aggressively and do a lot against people. But then in the hands of an average player, yeah, you could try it on, and if it's not working well, you can do like your free Heat combo with pressing the same button a few times, and then your Heat's gone. But it still gives like your more casual players more options. Only limited for that round. I understand people that don't like Heat, but I like playing aggressive, so I quite like having Heat, because then I can just be like, nah. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm getting my ass kicked. I just have to go full aggro and just pop Heat and just start fucking trying to just do whatever I can. But yeah, like I say, I understand if you're not into it. It's fair. And some people think Tekken might be doing a bit much, and I get that. Because now we've got so many of the, well, I say so many, but they added Rage, and then later on they added Rage Arts, and now we've got Heat. There's a lot more to play with that stuff than there was in, like, because when did Rage come in? Was it Tekken 6?
No, 7.
Was it 7? Because I thought 7 was Rage Arts, but Rage was before that.
Oh, no, you're right. 6 was, I think the main two mechanics in 6 were Rage and I think a thing called Bound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
Bound,
yes, no.
Your juggles and stuff easier, yeah.
7 was Rage Arts.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, so hopefully anyway they can win the community back over, because it sounds like also there's 2 teams when it comes to Tekken, and the game director Harada is not particularly happy with the things that the other team's doing that he doesn't have control over. So sounds like he's getting pretty fed up, and hopefully he doesn't leave, but it sounds like if things don't change, he might.
Make another Soul Calibur.
Look, I could take or leave Soul Calibur at this point. We had like there was that great mode where you were on the map in like Soul Calibur 3, and you had that map and you go to different areas and so on, and be like, oh, I'll go over here. And they never brought it back. And I'm like, oh man, I love that shit.
They had that light RPG mode in, was it Soul Calibur 6?
I don't remember at this point, eh? Which Soul Calibur was it where Harada put himself in the game and had like the Devil Jin moveset, and you had to beat him to unlock it?
5.
5?
But 5 was annoying because small roster, the main pro tag could not gel with, because Siegfried was pretty neat.
Siegfried was cool, man.
But they had so Sheba, who was like the successor to Keelik, but Keelik was in the game. There was...
He actually lit keys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought so.
Edge Master.
Yeah.
And
me on a Friday night.
They were like, I want to say 2 more characters, and they were just mirror characters. They were just four Mokujins, basically. I was like, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
But they brought in back Al Gol, which was cool.
Yeah, something I do like about Soul Calibur is that some of the characters are just fucking outrageous. Like Voldo. Like, what the fuck's going on with that guy?
Pervert.
Well, my favourite. All you had was Astaroth, who's just got a big old fucking axe. Zarsalamel with a scythe. He was cool.
Oh, I enjoyed Zarsalamel.
He was real cool. Yeah.
Cervantes,
just really
the
cool
pirate.
characters. Oh, he was, dude. Why is there just this random pirate? It's great. He was cool. Isn't he kind of like? Doesn't he have some like undead kind of stuff about him as well?
I don't know, because
some of them.
I don't know the lore, but I remember Soul Calibur 4, he's looking dead and demonic, but in Soul Calibur 5, he looks fine.
Yeah, it might be. Just one of those things. One of those video game things that doesn't have to make sense.
One of my favourite little things about Soul Calibur 5 is, do you know the boss, Al Gol?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, his ultimate attack, well, his super attack, he basically jumps up and sits on a throne and it comes down crushing you.
Oh, that's right.
But if you do a secondary input and expand more meter, he crosses his legs and just adds more pressure.
Kind of badass.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favourite little things is, Stephen?
Me.
I am
Yoda from Soul Calibur 4 for Xbox 360.
Nah, bro. Yoda can fuck right off of that game, eh? You're like, oh, the PlayStation was we got Darth Vader, that's way cooler. You're like, yeah, you're right, but our character's way more of a cunt to deal with because he's tiny. Enjoy that tiny little hitbox. What a fucking nightmare. I hope we don't get shit like that going forwards though. And they're like, you get your exclusive character, like, and when in Mortal Kombat it's like Xbox, you get no one, and PlayStation gets Kratos. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Why don't we get anyone?
One of the Soul Caliburs, one of the older ones did it well, where it's like Xbox exclusive was Spawn, PS2 was Heihachi, and GameCube was Link.
I know as well that Spawn is cool, but I just can't help it. I'm like, I love Tekken. I'm like, Heihachi's so cool, and then Link, you're like, dude, I feel like Xbox drew the short straw.
Yeah.
As cool as Spawn is, and is voiced by Keith David, who also fucking rules. Spawn is so much a better fit in Mortal Kombat. He was DLC in one of them as well, wasn't he?
I want to say so.
Yeah.
So was Conan the Barbarian?
I didn't know that until the other day. I'm like, what the fuck? And they've got Robocop. And I actually think that's where Mortal Kombat kills it. They're like, just like horror guest characters and stuff like that, and action guest characters. I'm like, great. They've got, is it the T-1000, like Terminator 2? Liquid Metal guy's in there. Omni-Man's in there. They've got Homelander. They're great characters for this type of game. And as much as I'm not usually a massive guest character guy, I just thought that was so cool. They've got so many fucking good choices in there for a violent game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on Tekken? Or we schmove on?
Only that it's like there has been the odd person who's been like basically being like harden up, stop being sook about it, or you're being an entitled gamer. But as a response, there's been like a petition, and like people are jumping to Street Fighter 6, but also some people are jumping back to Tekken 7.
Do you remember though how bad the state of Tekken 7 was when, you know, everyone has had to deal with Akuma, who was super overtuned and could just one combo kill you. And the Tekken mind cannot comprehend fireballs. Like it was insane, bro. It was so insane. Akuma was like the only like S tier character in the game at one stage, and they nerfed the hell out of him, and he was still top tier. And I think it was only in like right at the end of his life of Tekken 7, they finally got Akuma right, and then Leroy was like super overtuned. There was a tournament where Leroy had only been out for like 2 weeks or something, and massive tournament, and 7 out of the top 8 were playing Leroy. No, he was brand new. That's how overtuned he was.
I just remember like I was fighting someone Tekken 7, just spamming Hadokens. Not spamming, I was zoning. It's an actual strategy.
Yeah, this is what he tells you. This is what he fucking tells you. Oh, you're new to 2D fighters, are you? Yeah, I'm not spamming you with fireballs, I'm zoning.
Yeah.
You better get used to it, kid.
I'm locking your movement down. I'm testing you. But he's just like, oh, I can get away from your fireballs. He has a jump fireball as well.
Yeah. It was so hard. But with Akuma, you could just, if you can sidestep, you could get around a lot of his play.
Bullshit.
Like, there's actually that was actually a big thing. So yeah, it's in a much better state by the end. But those early days of Tekken 7 with Akuma, it was fucking rough, man. So hard.
I also really enjoyed the choice of DLC characters for Tekken 7. I mean, brought back my Tekken Tag 2 main and Kunimitsu, but I also picked up Fakamaram. He was real cool. The big Muay Thai dude.
He was strong as hell. Yeah, bro. Alex Pereira, the UFC fighter. Yeah, it's him.
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of. He kind of looks a little like him. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, with a half skull tattoo and struck by lightning. Yeah.
Exactly. He looks like him. Yeah. Yeah. Have you never seen him?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, now they just need to get Makachev into Tekken 8.
Brother, I'm gonna grapple you, brother. You need to take your son to Dagestan for 3 years and forget. Yeah.
But yeah, that's again, they're not quite not even close to Ubisoft level, because Ubisoft has a little bit of a track record of bad decisions. But you know, when people think fighting games, 2 of the big figureheads are Tekken and Street Fighter 6. 6 is killing it. It has its issue with the battle pass, but you don't need it. But with Tekken, it's just like, sort your shit out. This is like a highly renowned fighting game, and it deserves better. And the people who play it deserve better.
Yeah, I got faith that they'll get it sorted.
Yeah,
it might just take a while. Won't happen overnight.
Well, yeah.
We got a big announcement recently, and it's that the Switch 2 is coming. It's here. It's coming, mate. It's coming out. How many times can I say coming? Probably 2 more. Coming. So they showed off a bunch of games. The games are getting a little more expensive. So there was a little bit of fake news, bit of misinformation that came out about like games being 80 USD and then physical or digital being 80 USD and physical being 90. Wasn't the case. Physical's going to be 80 USD as well, which we're going to be getting them for about $130 New Zealand, which is pretty fucking pricey. But you know, they are also picking and choosing. So when they are 120 versus 130. For here as well. So not all of them are going to be that price. So they announced it for $450 USD, and then they're like, oh wait, tariffs. They've said tariffs. Yeah, we don't know yet. We might sell it different price later. It's not changing for us. $800 or $870 with Mario Kart, which is what I pre-ordered. But I saw when I saw the trailers of one game in particular. When I saw the Duskbloods with From Software, I was like. And being exclusive, I'm like, fuck, all right, I'm playing a Switch 2. I know it's not coming out till next year, but I'm like, I'm day one in this shit, bro. I couldn't help it. You know, it is PvPvE. We'll have to see what it's like. But Miyazaki is directing it. I'm like, I love From Software. I'll buy fucking every one of their games. I'm not going to wait for reviews. I've got so much faith. And like, I bought Armored Core, which ended up not being super up my alley, but I was like, dude, I fucking love From Software. I'm supporting them. I'm buying it. It's the only studio I think I would just blindly do that for. No one else. So they but yeah, it's a few games. There's the new Mario Kart, which I always think of Mario Kart is a must-have. Personally, I think your Mario Kart and your Smash on every Nintendo console is always worth buying. They showed enhanced ports of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm finally going to play Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't because of how poorly it ran on the Switch, and I was just like, bro, I'm just not putting myself through this. I thought, do I emulate? And I held out, and I'm glad I did. They showed, I think it was upscaled, but it was running Breath of the Wild 4K 60 in docked mode. I'm like, all right, now we're fucking talking. Pretty sick. Showed you Hyrule Warriors. Did you ever play Hyrule Warriors?
No, but friend of the stream, Hamish got it, and it came with a cool scarf.
Dude, he fucking loved that scarf. Once we were at his, and I was hungover, and I was playing Hyrule Warriors on his Switch. Was it Wii U, maybe?
No, it was
Wii U.
Pretty sure it was Wii U.
And I was just playing it, and then he came out, and he got really mad. I completed a level he hadn't done yet.
Oh.
You could go back and do any of the levels, but he was really not happy with me. I think he told me don't do any levels I haven't done, and either I didn't listen or I didn't hear him. So that's probably my bad though. The new Kirby Air Ride or Air Riders. I wrote Air Riders. I feel like it's Air Rider. I don't know.
Air fryers.
Yeah, Kirby's got an air fryer. That round little fuck loves just sucking up all the food in sight, mate. He loves socking. People were excited for that. Sakurai, the Smash Bros. Director's directing it, going back to his roots, so that's fun. Donkey Kong Bonanza, spelled like banana, Bonanza.
Banana.
Really
Donkey
cool.
Kong Banana.
Banana. That looks really cool. It sounds like it's the Mario Odyssey team. I need to talk to you about the redesign once we've done this. So there was supposed to be some Hollow Knight Silksong. Well, I think there was like a moment of Hollow Knight Silksong showed off, and they're like, "Yeah, it is coming out this year. It's happening." We're like, cool. Enter the Gungeon 2 was supposed to be showed off, but it sounds like the stream fucked out, and then we didn't get to see it. So kind of sucks for them because I love Enter the Gungeon. That was some one of my Twitch followers, Charm. A real homie. That was when Charm and I became friends when I was streaming Into the Gungeon. As the game had died, and I was streaming it, and I was just having a great time with it, and I was the highest viewed English streamer. There's me and this Russian guy were like the highest viewed, and I was like, man, what the fuck? Because people just were hungry for some Gungeon content, so it was great. And now I haven't grown my stream in 3 years. But yeah, it was great. So I'm really looking forward to that. Love me a roguelike. And there were some ports and some other ones that are, I guess you probably wouldn't say port for like Tony Hawk, but I'll put them under. And there's a heap of other games that aren't on here. I think we had Bravely Default as well. There's a port of that with some kind of fucking stupid name as well, though. But there's port of Elden Ring, which I'm like, oh, mate, maybe I'll buy it again. Split Fiction, Hog Leg, Hades 2, which will be great on there. Street Fighter 6, apparently with less input lag than the PS5 version. Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Hitman, which is interesting to see on there. Cyberpunk, which can also actually fits on the cartridge. And Civ 7. So Civ 7 is interesting because there is that kind of turn your Joy-Con into a mouse kind of support in it. I think that Civ should only be played on something with a real mouse on it, but I am curious to see how it works with that mouse functionality, because maybe this ends up being the console experience, the best console experience for Civ. Maybe it ends up better than the PlayStation and the Xbox, and maybe that's where people end up playing Civ if they're console gamers. So I thought overall, people are not really thrilled about it. I understand as well. $800, like New Zealand, it's not a small amount of money. Like PS5s go for a similar amount of money, but there's just things that the Switch gives you that the other consoles don't. This sounds like fanboy talk, but I'm a PC gamer. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care. I'll play on anything. But if you have a gaming PC and you have to decide one console to get, well, the Xbox makes no sense because you'll just play everything on Game Pass or through the Xbox app or whatever. It all comes to Windows now. So Xbox doesn't make sense. Nearly all the console exclusives for PlayStation come to PC now as well. Like eventually, like, oh, do you want to play The Last of Us? It's on PC. You want to play Horizon Zero Dawn? I think Forbidden West is on PC as well. We've got them. You want to play Days Gone? It's on PC. Like, all these games eventually come there. Returnal, which I still think's the best PS5 game, in my opinion. It's on PC. So it just... The Switch is like, where else are you going to play Donkey Kong Banana? Where else are you going to play that? Currently, the Dust Bloods is only going to be on there. Kirby Air Ride. Where are you going to play the Zelda games? Yeah, sure, emulate, whatever. But where are you going to play them natively? And you also have... It seems like it is going to be a good docked experience, and there's also a good handheld experience. Which that's another thing. Yeah, you could get a fucking... Here it is. You get a ROG Ally, mate. But... And yes, I paid $300 less for this than the Switch 2 is going to cost. But it is going to be an experience just out the gate. Shit's just got to work on it. Like, I'm always changing settings on that to make tweak games, make them run better, make them, sometimes I want to make them run at worse because I want better battery life. I'll make them run at 30 frames to just pump out a bit of battery because it doesn't matter as much on a small screen. And it's the handheld experience. But, yeah, I think the Switch just ends up it just does things the other platforms don't, and that is the appeal of the Switch. So it's not an apples to apples comparison, Stephen, because it is indeed not apples to apples because we are indeed comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
It's a throwback for us. But yeah, so there's a lot of outrage around it, and I get it. Games getting more expensive is unpleasant. Nobody likes that, and the fact that they're like, oh, you want a tour, the little tour for your Switch console? Yeah, that'll be $10. So I saw a thing that Reggie Fils-Aimé really he had to fight for Nintendo to buy it. We need to bundle in Wii Sports. If they didn't bundle in Wii Sports, I think the Wii would have sold at least 1/3 less units because people's grandparents and stuff had it because it came with Wii Bowl, the grandkids will play it, so they'll come around and, the Wii sold so many fucking units because of coming with Wii Sports, I think, was such a big appeal for people. Like, it just, like I say, people's grandparents and stuff having them. I don't think if it didn't come with it, I don't think they would have bought it.
He made their bodies ready.
He did. And the comparison as well, I heard someone saying it's like there is a thing in Japanese culture, and I agree with this. I agree with this principle, and it's like, well, we worked on it, we spent a lot of time on it, the company spent money on it. Why shouldn't we sell it? And I completely understand that. But this is like here's your little tour of the console thing, bro. Fucking bundle it in, you fucking dogs. Bundle it in. Don't fucking nickel and dime us, you cunts. All right, chuck that in there.
It's like getting charged for a manual in a game.
Yeah, and I know as well people are saying it's actually quite cool and it's super interactive. Maybe I'll buy it to check it out. But
you will.
But Astro's Playroom is it's not a super long game, but it's a full game that they threw in with the PS5, and it's a quality platformer. And yes, Astro Bot itself is a much, much better game, and it should be because you're paying $100 for it. But Astro's Playroom's really fucking good, and it's them like shilling for themselves, being like, "Hey, PlayStation, look how cool this is, eh? You guys like PlayStation?" You're like, "Yeah, I bought the console. Yeah, okay, go on." But as you go around the map and you get your little collectibles and stuff, and then it gets thrown in this big room, and then at the end,
you go back to the big room and it's like, oh well, I've got the PS2 here and these add-ons for the PS2 and I've got the fucking iToy and certain things that you can interact with and you can hit the button to like open the disc drive and there's big PS1 and a big PS2 there and PS3 and 4 and stuff. It's really fucking cool. And they keep going, it's like, oh, you're in Memory Alley and we're showing off the memory capabilities on the PS5 and the levels based around that. And it's kind of cheesy, but I really like it, man. It's fucking awesome. They threw that in. So when I first played it, I just wasn't in the mood for a 3D platformer. And then as soon as I finished Astro Bot, I was like, bro, this is the best game like I've played in years. I had to go back and play the Playroom. I had to get all the trophies. I fucking loved it. It's so good. And they threw that in for free.
For free.
So that's what I'm thinking right now, Switch 2. I actually think the lineup is pretty strong. Really. Like, yeah, you could on PS5 right now, yes, there's more games. There's more games on Xbox. Look at Steam. Look how many fucking games there are. And they go back way further than any other platform. Sure, right? This is always going to be a thing when there's a new console coming out. But there is something there for everyone. I really do believe that. Mario Kart, or if you haven't played the Zeldas, or Hyrule Warriors. Kirby Air Riders I don't think's on launch, neither is Donkey Kong. But Donkey Kong's coming out soon. But there is so much variety there. And like I say, Cyberpunk on a cartridge, that's the whole game's on there. They're like, we made sure we could fit the whole game. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. There is some interesting stuff about it as well. They've got kind of DRM. They're like, yeah, we've got now game cards you buy and you have to download the game, but you need this in here to read it. So as like a key so you can play the game. I'm not into that, but you can sell those. So that's something I feel like I would love to min-max and buy games and then sell them for half price once I finish them. But I just like digital too much. And I know technically we're kind of getting ripped off in a way. You pay the same price and then you can't do anything with this afterwards. I could never bring myself to sell them. But the game card kind of works like a little bit of both. But I'm just like, man, you've only got, 256 gigs of storage on this thing? How many games am I fitting on this bad boy, really? The games are smaller than, like, your PS5 games and so on. But I'm like, man, that's not much storage. You're like, well, just buy an SD card. I'm already spending $800 on the fucking console, mate. Come on. But do any of those games tickle your fancy? Does the Switch 2 interest you at all?
So when we got the announcement, when I heard the announcement, I was like, I sleep, but it took one. Don't know if I'm going to get one day one. Probably
also, to
not.
be fair, you were literally sleeping when they announced it. When that happened. I woke up at 4 a.m. by chance, and half an hour had passed, and I'm like, what the fuck's this Dusk Bloods? I gotta watch this trailer. And then I struggled to get back to sleep because I was excited because I'm like a kid on Christmas.
I was like, cool. Breath of the Wild, 60 frames per second, mint. And it's just like, coworker was just like, are you going to get Street Fighter 6 on Switch? And I said, no, because I already own it on PC. Why would I do that?
Imagine buying the same game again. Wouldn't be me buying Elden Ring again. No, but I don't want to play a fighting game on a handheld.
No. But there was one game where I was like, hang on. That's quite mint. And that's Donkey Kong Banana.
Hey, let's go.
The fully destructible environment. The thing where, 90% destructible. The whole thing where he just smashes a bit of earth, picks up a fucking rock disc and just wallops someone. I was like, hell yeah. And they even had that little throwback, they have like a level where it's like the old Donkey Kong Country side-scrollers, like jumping in a barrel that shoots you upwards to shoot. I was like, this game has, as the as the kids say, soul.
Yeah. It
It's
looks
charming.
really good.
It looks so
It looks
good.
really good.
I showed my mate it, and he was expecting, it's like, oh, Nintendo slop. And he's like, this game looks. He was off the mindset. He's like, Mario Kart will sell regardless because it's Mario Kart. Everyone has their attachments to it, being it for drinking or settling disputes. But he's like, no, this game actually looks mint. This looks nice.
Looks awesome.
So I'm hyped for that.
When was the last 3D Donkey Kong game? Was it Donkey Kong 64?
No,
I feel like it was.
3D Donkey Kong game. Oh,
yeah, not
there
2D.
was. Because I was thinking like 3D graphics. There was that that one for 3DS. Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze was a Wii U game, I think. Dude, I love 2D platformers, and I could not get into that. Some people were like, this is the best 2D platformer ever made. I could not get into it. I'm gutted, because on paper, I feel like I'd really like it. I couldn't get into it, but dude, this looks awesome. And you know what? The Donkey Kong redesign, when I first saw that little screenshot of Mario Kart, I thought he looked really dumb. And then I saw this Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think the redesign looks really good.
Do you hope he's wearing pants the whole way through?
Look, I could take him or leave him.
As long as the tie stays on.
Yeah, the tie stays on during sex, all right? That's the deal. I really liked the rear design, and I still like the rear design. I think it's really cool, and they did it for Donkey Kong Country. But I do think this redesign, I actually prefer. I know as well when people first saw him in the cart, I thought he looked really dumb, but once I saw that trailer, I was like, he looks really good. He's been properly Nintendo-fied now, because he hadn't been, because he was, the rear design, which is fine, and it's still really based on the Donkey Kong Country and the Nintendo 60 and the Donkey Kong 64 designs. So it hadn't been updated in a long time, but it looks so good, and he looks so. His fur looks really good too. I was gonna go, he looks so furry, and it would have been like, oh, hold up.
Pause. Yeah.
No, he doesn't have paws. He's got hands, mate. He's
you're gonna catch them.
I don't want to catch those hands, bro.
He's smashing that big clump of banana ore, and all you hear is, oh, banana.
Banana ore. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Switch too. I know as well we spend a lot of time being cynical, and I feel like as well, we're negative. Well, I'm more negative than you are, but I feel like it normally is coming from a pretty realistic place. I think there is a lot right now to be negative about. There's also a lot to be positive about, and I do want to celebrate the positive things as well. And as much as the price could be a massive deterrent for people here, because it's really not cheap, I like what I've seen of the Switch too. I really do. I really can't say too much bad. I wasn't like mind blown, other than the Dusk Bloods, and I'm like, fucking, it's gamer time. I just want more From Software, but yeah, it just seems good. Just a good showcase overall. Like, new Donkey Kong, man, I feel great. New Kirby game. We're gonna have Zelda running well. Like, man, there's no complaints from me. The controllers are bigger as well. Fantastic. I could not use those tiny little fucking, what do they call them? I was looking at
Joy-Cons?
the shelf. I'm like, are they over there? Yeah, those little Joy-Cons, bro. I can't use that shit. I got meaty claws on me. What am I supposed to do with these?
Well, maybe you could get that 60 frame per second Astral Chain down the line.
I hope so, because I want to play Astral Chain, but I ain't playing it on the regular old Switch because it just runs like shit.
It's a great game, but there's 30 frames per second, and there's a certain scene where you're fighting a fair amount of enemies and it's raining, and it just slogs.
Yeah. I hear it drops to like 15 frames in some points, and you're like, oh. If it was a consistent 30 frames, I would have given it a go. I've heard from a couple of people it is really good. Some people say it might be Platinum's best game.
a lot of people genuinely like this game is amazing, but it's stuck on the Switch. So, yeah, I'm interested. Are you still there? You seem like you froze.
What?
Oh, I couldn't tell. You're just being a fucking bastard. That's what you're doing.
But like, I'm pretty sure there were like reservations about getting the PS5 when it first came out because that was quite expensive. I mean,
I didn't get one on launch. I also didn't have a lot of money to spare at the time. I don't have a lot of money to spare now, but fuck it, we ball.
the last game I got like midnight release was PS4. And yeah, I feel it is an expensive console, the Nintendo Switch. It's especially expensive for Nintendo, but the thing that Nintendo has always been like 4 steps behind is hardware and graphics.
And let's be honest, they're still going to be behind once this comes out. They're going to put out the console because when did the PS5 launch? Because it's further ago than you think. It wasn't. It really wasn't recent. Yeah, dude. PS5 this year, in November this year, PS5 is 5 years old. PS5's been out 4.5 years. Nintendo's going to put out a console that is less powerful than a nearly 5-year-old console. But the thing is, the handheld capability, and with DLSS essentially, because it's an NVIDIA chip, upscaling, the upscaling game is probably going to be better than Sony and Xboxes, really, because DLSS is so well established already. And if that's the backbone for it, then great. They will be able to compete. Once again, apples and oranges in this case, because it is also something capable of being handheld. Which, have you seen the PS5, bro? I can barely hold the cunt in my hands. It's massive. It's actually fucking huge. It is such an eyesore. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Plays games good. That's the most important thing. But Jesus Christ, that thing is the ugly popped collar router takes up half my fucking media unit on its own. Then you got the Xbox standing up in the background, looking
like Seto Kaiba.
Yeah, it does. Bro, the PlayStation does look like Seto Kaiba, but the Xbox just looks like, the memes of the fridge. But I'm like, that's a good looking console. Doesn't take up too much space. I don't want to play fucking games on the cunt. Why am I dropping so many C-bombs today? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I want to play the Xbox games on PC, and then I want to play the PlayStation games on PC when I can. But some games I just like playing in front of the TV as well. I played God of War Ragnarok through there, and it was great. Big TV, big sound, perfect.
On to just one last thing about Nintendo. It's not so much about the console, but one of my good mates, he purchased, because we had very limited stock in at place of work, and we got in. Did you ever hear about the Nintendo Alarmos?
Yeah. How much were they here?
I can't remember.
I feel like because the US are $100, they're probably $150 here.
And he's just like, it's cool, but fuck, it's annoying. So, well, what do you mean? It's like, so I put on the Mario Kart alarm, and my alarm's going off playing Mario Kart noises, Mario Kart tracks. It's like, but hasn't moved or gotten out of bed, and so all he can hear is just loud like car revving.
Dude, they're $180 here. What the fuck? Oh, I like Nintendo, and I'm not spending $180 on a fucking alarm clock, bro. You're kidding me.
You'd rather buy fucking their cardboard.
Hey, I never bought the Labo. How dare you?
Nah, neither.
I actually think the Labo's quite a cool idea, though. But I'm like, they are a company that makes things for children. And I'm not a child, but allegedly. But yeah, the Labo was not for me. I get it. I'm not target audience.
Imagine people just selling online, just bootleg Labo, and it's just cardboard.
Yeah, there's a cardboard box, and it's like unbranded Nintendo Labo. It's just a box.
pretty good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it anyway. Like I say, $800 is a lot. I spent more than twice that on my graphics card not long ago. So, look, I can't fucking talk. End of the day. Do you want one piece of computer for more than twice the money, or
One piece?
What, one piece? Or do you want handheld console? And people are like, oh, that's too expensive. And PC gamers are like, oh yeah, that's not too bad actually. It's actually a pretty good price.
Well, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my greasy mitts on it.
I'll get one down the line.
Yeah, that's fair as well. And maybe you get Switch 2 Lite or something as well.
No.
You know?
No.
You want to be able to dock.
Yeah, I've always gotten the even with the 3DS, mates were getting the 2DS, and I was like, nah. Switch Lite, nah. I like to play docked, and I like to lean back on the couch and play.
I like to have the option.
Yeah,
especially. Alex was saying to me that she might wait for a Switch 2 Lite because she's like, I don't think I've played my Switch once docked. I'm like, that's fucking crazy because I've probably played a little more handheld, but it's probably like 60-40, like docked, because I liked playing on the couch. I liked playing Smash Bros. There. I liked playing Zelda. Actually, Zelda looked way better on the handheld than it looked on the big TV. You could start, you could see the blemishes on the big screen, but it felt so vast on the big screen, which was cool. So we've had the BAFTA awards recently, and sometimes you just got to shout out the British because you don't have to, but we're going to. I just thought it was interesting. I thought it was worth talking about. So a few awards here. So we had Best Animation was won by Astrobot. Artistic Achievement was Never, which I still haven't seen fuck all about this game and need to look into it. That's what I said about the Game Awards. Audio Achievement was Astrobot, which I think is fair enough. It was to do with the haptics and stuff as well, and how I hate when the PlayStation controller talks to me. I fucking hate it. I get so annoyed. I'm just, shut the fuck up. But the way that the controller talks to an Astrobot is so good. The noises and stuff it makes is perfect. You have to experience it. Best game was Astrobot. Best British game, Thank Goodness You're Here. I think you'd like that game if you haven't seen it. It's very unique. Best debut game was Balatro. Best evolving game, Vampire Survivors. Best family game, Astrobot. The Fellowship Award was for Yoko Shimomura. I butchered it. I stumbled in the middle. Yoko Shimomura she made music for Street Fighter 2, Kingdom Hearts, and Final Fantasy. So fucking huge resume. Great music in all of those games. So shout out to her. Game Beyond Entertainment, Tales of Kanzera Zhao. When people say the name of this, they make it sound like it's Tales of Kanzera Zhao, like Kanzera Zhao's one word, but it's Tales of Kanzera Zhao.
Not part of the Bandai Tales series.
Believe it or not. I've heard this game is really good. People were calling it a DEI game because it is a game about a black family, but people are dumb. I haven't played it yet, but I do want to play it. It's a 2D Metroidvania, and it looks awesome. Apparently, it's got a very heartfelt story. The guy behind the studio as well was on Game of Thrones, so kind of cool. I watched an interview with him. Seems like a really cool dude, really down to earth. And I think the game was published by EA, which I think is interesting as well. So, best game design was Astrobot. Best multiplayer, Helldivers 2. Best music, Helldivers 2. I love Helldivers. I love the music in Helldivers. It's right up my alley. I don't know if that should have won best music, though. Metaphor is right there. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is right there. Astrobot is right there. I love the Helldivers music. I really do. There's nothing more hype when you're waiting for the fucking ship to come and pick you up and the music's playing and it rules. It's great. It's right up there. I don't think it should have won that one, but This is someone who, out of all those games as well, other than Astrobot I named, that's my favourite out of them too. So I don't have anything against the game. I love it, but I don't know. I don't know about best music. Best narrative was Metaphor. Best new IP was Still Wakes the Deep. It was on Game Pass. I still need to play it. Apparently it's excellent. Best performer in a leading role was Alex Newman in Still Wakes the Deep. Best performer in a supporting role was Karen Dunbar in Still Wakes the Deep. Also, they are British. They are biased because there was apparently some thick Scottish or thick Irish accents in that game. But look, I have heard the performances are incredible. So, like I say, maybe they are biased, but I've heard they are great performances. And then best technical achievement was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. So while people might say not much of a game, I did hear it technically was amazing. Great tech behind it. Apparently great performance from the actress that played Senua in it. And apparently amazing sound design in that game. And people were like, oh, it's a 5-hour experience and there's not a lot of gameplay in it. It's what people found. And it wasn't that gripping from the gameplay perspective. So that's why I haven't played it as a gameplay focused person. But I'm glad to see it win an award because I think we need these artsy pieces as well, even if they're not for me. Mm-hmm. I think that it is good. I think it's great to have these things. But I love when you can get something that does both. But it feels like it is quite rare to do both. So have you got any thoughts on any of those lists? Anything stand out to you? Anything? It's like, yeah.
I should give Thank Goodness You're Here a blat. As for best music in Helldivers, interesting, because I thought the music was good, but the music sort of melted into background because I'm in sheer fucking panic because of bile titans.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to smell the roses and
No.
really soak in the atmosphere in Helldivers and really listen and engage with the music, eh? Because it is chaos. Soon as you fucking drop, you are running and fighting for your fucking life.
Yeah.
I love Helldivers, man. I really do. It's so fun.
All I can say is big up Balatro.
Yeah, hell yeah. We love Balatro. Balatro is fucking goated, man. I was saying to Stephen before we started, I was like, man, I really think Balatro is a perfect game. That doesn't mean there aren't better games out there than Balatro, but the formula of it, you're like, man, I really don't think there's much more they could do to make this better. You could add some more jokers and things like that, but you don't need to add any more mechanics or anything. Like it is perfect like as it is. There's so much replayability. The sound design is amazing. Of everything you hear about the card shuffling and everything, and you build that meter up and you one and done it, and you hear the fire and you see the visuals of the flames around the store. It is perfection. I love Balatro. Also, I'm a big card game guy, so super biased. But
it was like, I want to say like maybe 3 weeks ago or so, a bunch of my mates and we played poker. Well, I didn't play poker. I was there to sink, piss, and have yarns. Set up the poker table, and they're like, "All right, we got to put on some music, set the mood." And my mate's like, 2 seconds, and he puts on the Balatro theme.
Hell yeah! Well, this may as well transition us into our next thing, eh? Special Game Pass, where we'll present an option or two each about game on Game Pass and tell you our thoughts and if we're interested and so on. So, Stephen, you may as well start us off, eh?
Balatro.
Oh no! Oh.
Like,
no one could have guessed we were gonna talk about Balatro. I'm gassing it up just then.
Because I remember when I first played it, I was like, okay, this is cool. I found I found myself referring to the hands a fair amount, and I was like, maybe I just suck at poker. But then as I kept on playing, I didn't need to look at the hands list. I just knew, and I was like, cool. I had a really good run. And one time, I had this one setup where it was. This is when I really started getting into it. One run, I just was like, oh, because I didn't really pay attention to the peripheral cards. I was like, oh, planet cards. And I just buffed the fuck out of my pairs and two of a pairs.
Dude, I knew it was going to be 2 pairs. That's
Yeah.
how I started too.
Yeah.
You just want to be like, I want to play 2 pairs all day, and then sometimes you might get the jeans, and then you just buffing your 2 pairs. Yeah, it's the best way to learn, I think, because you just, oh man, it is a brain dead way of playing, but that's how I started too, bro. 2 pairs, because it was just easy to get. You can always see it. You can always pick out 2 pairs. Cool, play that. Right, and then the game starts like giving you things as like boss round of like, your 2 pairs don't work now, or your most common, and you're like, fuck, now I got to actually use my brain again.
But then and that got me to all 8 antes and like unlocked endless mode. But then I was like, okay, that is pretty brain dead. So I'll do another run, and my use of jokers was, I have like 3 in particular that I'm like, yep, gonna have that. One is just, well, there's 2 that either add score, adds multiplier per face card played. Have 2 of them, but also get that card that gives you multiplier per how many jokers you have.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's sick. And then I remember I was just scared. And then I'll have like a joker. I'll go for that joker card because I don't like to get the ones where it's just like, oh, multiplier if you get pairs or 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. I only go for the joker that's just like, you get multiplier for doing a flush.
Yeah.
And because when you see a flush or a straight, you notice it straight away. It's like, oh yeah, the cards are aligned. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I'm definitely based and straight pilled, mate. That's for sure. I'm always looking for straight highs. My brain that's what my brain wants to see. I try to branch out, and because you've got to be able to adjust and adapt when other things come up. But my brain is always looking for the high straight every time. Like, ace, queen, king, jack, 10. That's what my brain is like trying to fucking lock in. And sometimes it's like, don't have an ace, mate. Oh, we got a 9. Oh yeah, we can fucking go lower on this. Yeah, we don't need the ace. Like,
tell you one boss can fuck off though. It's the one where it's just like cards you played in your previous hand are face down.
Oh yeah, that's always a bastard. At least like sometimes you're like, oh, these ones are all grouped up the top, so fuck it. Maybe I'll just play them all together and hope they're the right ones. And
you got high.
Off, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes you get high card.
Yeah, that's fucking rough, man.
But no, I've really sunk my teeth into Balatro, and yeah.
Have you got a favourite Joker?
My favourite Joker would have to be. There was one, but it was one of those Jokers where it was, misprint. Misprint Joker's my favourite.
Oh yeah.
The one where it's just like the multiplier is just random.
Yeah, as much as that's not like a real high level card, I really like it too. Because I think it's fun.
Because it can be
I just
like,
enjoy it.
It can, because what's really good is like, you'll know when you'll beat, but what if misprint gets me over the line?
And sometimes it will. I love as well, it's this like smudged, misprinted card. It looks great aesthetically.
The cards look great as well. Like all the playing cards.
Oh man, absolutely.
Especially when they're holographic.
Yeah, dude, some of them look so cool. It's great. I love as well how you could just have these modifiers as well to be like, this one's going to be worth more chips. This one's going to be worth, extra to your, like, plus to your multiplier with the different holographic and stuff on them. Or this one's a negative, so this one now no longer takes up a Joker slot, so you get an extra Joker slot. I remember I got a negative Joker with the banana, and the first time I used it, it fucking died. I'm like, no.
Then there's real interesting ones where it's like, it's Vampire Joker, where it will debuff your enhance cards but adds multiplier per card that's debuffed and plays it like that's the multiplier that gets played every round.
I love the one that's like when you use like the moon card or the planet cards, that it gets 0.1% added to it. So you're just trying to use every single fucking planet card you can to just keep buffing this multiplier. I love ones like that. And if you get them early enough, by the end it's like, bro, this card's on like 5 times. I'm killing it. Every hand you play, it's like multiplier times 5. Just from this one thing. And if you get them early, you're just like, this is my strategy. I'm going hard into this.
Favorite deck is gold decks. I like to spend a fair bit early.
Yeah. Gold is good. So here's a pro tip. Much like the Binding of Isaac, if you hold down the R button, it will restart your run. So sometimes I'm just trying to high roll out the gate. And it won't work out, and then I'll restart it real quick, and I'll restart a couple of times. And having a lot of gold just is great for that, because you're just like, I got shitty cards in the shop, fuck it, I'll just re-roll the run, because you're only like 3 minutes in, so you may as well. But that's what you find: the more you play, the less likely you are to just try to be like, I'll push through this bad start. You're like, nah, fuck it, I've spent 3 minutes on it, I'll start over.
Good to know.
The same with Binding of Isaac. You're like, go to the item room, item shit, I'm starting the run over. And you're like, you've played for 2 minutes. You're like, yeah.
You just know.
That's why I may as well start over. It's so funny because Scrip has played heaps more Isaac than me, but I've still played a lot. When we were playing that multiplayer, actually, we've played with you as well. Me and Chris, like, the whole time, we're like, yeah, that's worth it. Yeah, we take that. Oh, yeah, you want to do this. Yeah, like, we've both played enough that you get Isaac brained. And sometimes as well, we might make ever so slightly different decisions, but 90% of our decisions will be the same.
Yeah.
It's just like a way to min-max. Yeah. And Bellatro's got some of that too. Great game. So, I brought 2 choices because fuck the rules. I make the rules. So, I definitely want to praise to South of Midnight, because I know it's not going to get all the praise in the world, but I think aesthetically it looks amazing. I love the stop motion. Stop motion on it looks incredible. So what I'm hearing though with South of Midnight is where it drops the ball is the gameplay. And for me, that sucks because I'm a gameplay focused dude. It's unfortunate. The combat sounds like it's okay, and the heaps of like repetitive enemies because there's just not much enemy variety. But the world and the atmosphere and the music and the story and everything seems great. Visually amazing. Once again, my backlog's too big. I haven't got to it yet. It's only just come out, but I'm going to play it. It's only like a 12-hour game, so that's what I want right now. But I just want to show the game some love. It's got some... it's not mythos, it's not the word I'm looking for, but some your deep south kind of...
Lore?
Yeah, lore. I still don't know if lore's the right word either, but yeah, it got a lot of that kind of stuff. And I just find that really interesting because I don't think it's something that's been explored too much in media, and maybe there's a bit out there, but not from what I've seen. Yeah, I think the game looks really, really cool. Something unique, and I hope that, because I heard someone say, it's like, man, I'd actually, right now, because I don't think the gameplay chops are there, it's like, I'd actually rather see them make a movie than make a game. And for me, I'm like, this sting is because I know that there's going to be moments in the game I'm going to be like, man, but it's a real shame when everything else is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that the studio can still live to get a bit more time and hopefully work on their gameplay chops a bit, and maybe even get some support from some of the other like Xbox studios to help them or give them some pointers or whatever, because so much of this other stuff is not easy to do. You know, like, it is, making a game is fucking hard, and you've nailed everything other than the thing I find most important and the gameplay and the enemy variety, that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can see more out of them in future like that, but just it's got to work on that. So I am looking forward to playing it. It's a game I'll talk about very soon, is the reason why I'm not playing it right now. But I've got to get to that. I've got to get to Indiana Jones again, because I only put a few hours into that. I've got to get back to Death Stranding. It's fucked, bro. It is fucked. By that time, Doom the Dark Ages will be out, and that's high priority. Bro, we're somehow in the best and worst fucking time for games. It is so weird, man. It's so fucking weird. The next game I want to talk about, which comes out in about 4 hours, so I'm going to talk about it now because it'll be out at that time. Blueprints. Yes, the word blue and the, prince is in royalty, because I am an idiot, and I didn't realize that meant like a house's blueprints, even though everything was fucking architecture based. And it's so funny though, when I said it on this podcast maybe 2 episodes ago, and I was like, blueprints, it's just words together. You're like, that's a weird name, say it out loud. I'm an idiot. But some people that have previewed this game have said this game needs to be nominated for Game of the Year. Like, already. Like, people are so impressed by this puzzle game, this architecture puzzle game. You go into rooms and things are moving around. You're trying to solve where you've got to go next. Like, it is so difficult for me to explain, because I haven't seen a game quite like this one. Maybe some exist, but yeah, it is. It looks amazing. I'm very much looking forward to playing this. And hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll have more to say about it once I have played it. But the art style as well, it looks like cartoony, but like visually really crisp. I think this game looks excellent.
I'll be sure to give it a dabble as well.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's on PlayStation Plus. Like, dude, barrier to entry for this game is low. You could... do you have either of these? No. Well, it'll come out as well on... probably on Steam. Let me just confirm, because I can't imagine it's going to be a really expensive game. It is coming to Steam. Doesn't have a price, dude. It literally drops real soon. Oh, now it says 3 hours and there's no price on there. Interesting. My guess would be like $40 New Zealand. So a third of the price of a full price game. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Like I say, some people are already saying this could be a Game of the Year contender, which is pretty fucking interesting that people are that hot on this already. So, yeah, looking forward to that. It sounds like Steven is too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got the wordplay like straight away.
Damn, Samuel Jackson's getting a lot of love tonight. So, what I've been playing, I haven't had a heap of time. I played half of a run on Hades on a plane ride. I played a run of Balatro on a plane on the way back.
And then when I've been at home, I've just been playing the first Berserker Kazan, not the last Berserker, which I called it a friend. I'm like, man, you'd really like the last Berserker. He's like, I googled it's coming up the first Berserker. Oh, my fault. I couldn't tell you anything about the story in this game. It's just fucking whack anime shit. You start up and it's like, there's a ghost in you, ooh, and then it's like, it's a blade phantom. I don't know what that is. The art style looks pretty good. It's pretty slick. And it is a Souls-like. It's got a bit of Sekiro in it. It's also got a bit of Neo in it, like more Neo than Dark Souls, I would say. The game is really fucking hard. Holy shit, is it hard? My God, I haven't lowered the difficulty yet. I'm hoping I don't have to, because there's an achievement for not lowering the difficulty. There's also one for not summoning your little spirit friends, and I'd already done that, so I'm like, oh well, fuck it. Fuck me, I guess. I guess I'm not getting that achievement. But I spent an hour and a half on this dragon boss, who's such a cunt. It was such a nightmare. I've realised recently as well, I know people talk about it's like hitting your 30s, your gaming skill starts to like atrophy. It is true. It is really true, man. I'm not anywhere near as sharp as I used to be with gaming. I'm not bad, but I could tell. I was like, man, my timing would have been so much better in this, like, even 3 or 4 years ago.
Maybe you need to get amongst the gamer subs.
That's not going to save me, bro. It's over for me. I played Dark Souls 1 and 2 recently. I died a lot more than I had died in my previous runs of that. Not my first runs, but yeah. So I'm definitely not at the same level I was. But this boss, I spent an hour and a half on it, was such a cunt. I finally did. Oh, also, the first time I thought I'd beat it because I was already struggling, found out there was a second phase. I'm like, fuck, bro. It took me like 30 minutes to get there, and then I had to spend another hour. And I was quite tired, but I was like, nah, I need to do this because I do not want to have to relearn this tomorrow. Literally the day after I beat that boss, got fucking nerfed. And then I got to another boss that had just been buffed. I'm like, oh, fantastic. The other boss wasn't even that hard. I just did not play very well. But I think it's the third major boss. Dude, it was so difficult. Got to have your parries on fucking point, man. I'm doing a greatsword build. And I don't know, seeing the other builds, I'm like, I might have chosen wrong, but I'm a meathead, bro. I just wanna swing big sword. Neuron activate when I swing big sword, you know? So yeah, it is great. The level design's good. It was much closer to Neo than Dark Souls there as well. So you go select a level, and then there are these like crystals that are hidden out through it, which you can use to like power up. You can get yourself like you will heal more with your limited heals before you can go back to your bonfire, because that's what we call them in the Souls games. So you can spend them on those, and then there's little guys hiding in jars, much like Neo as well, and they've got a little jar on their head. They're real cute. So there's those in every level, and you've got a traditional Souls like level up. You don't have as many stats, which I think is good, being streamlined, but it's like, you want strength because you have big sword. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, mate. Strength and stamina, bit of health, and then there was another one that was like, oh yeah, you can do more because you've got kind of like, so Sekiro, you had your posture damage, so you have health and you have posture. This has a similar thing, but it's like based on their stamina. So if you manage to get their stamina down, then you could get to do a big strong attack for free essentially, and you'll recover a bunch of your stamina. So you're just trying to balance that thing the whole time of like, you're going to make sure you don't run out of stamina, and you want to wear theirs down. Heavy attacks will wear them down the stamina more. So some things you just want to be like, okay, this is an enemy I just want to kill, and just go for their health entirely. Some of them you want to be like, I want to guard break them and break their stamina so I can get one of these attacks to deal massive damage. So gameplay is really fucking good in this. Art style is great, and the music and stuff been good, but like I say, story, I could not fucking tell you a thing about it. I just, every time they start talking and it's like the anime shit, I'm like, fuck, because every time I'll watch this cup scene. Yep.
Two Girls, One Cup scene.
Hey.
I'll watch this cutscene, and after about 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, fucking kill me now, bro. Kill me now. I've played Weeb Souls-likes before, but it is just the gameplay that gets me through. So, I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I would only recommend this for like hardcore Souls-like fans, because it really is not easy. It is very punishing, but it is very good and very rewarding. So, I wouldn't recommend for you, Steve.
No.
You're like, oh, anime. Oh, Souls-like. Oh, no.
I've played Code Vein.
Yeah. Yeah, Code Vein was the one I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the name. Though they have a woman in that game that's like wearing like just a ripped shirt. Oh, yeah, bandages. That's right. She's just wearing bandages, and you're like, I can see everything, you thirsty bastards. I remember so little about that game from like story-wise. I barely remember playing it, but I was like, oh, gameplay was pretty good. But yes, there was a girl in bandages, and people wore gas masks because it was edgy and
jackets.
Yeah.
That attacked.
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on. But the gameplay was good. Most bosses were good. There were a couple of poorly designed bosses in that game that felt a bit cheap. But Neo had that too. I haven't found too many cheap bosses in this game yet. There was one though that I beat on my third go, and thank God I did. Oh, maybe I had a few more goes than that, but it was no more than 5. But when you get to its second phase, because first phase, piece of cake, it's just regular like human like enemy. You're like, oh yeah, fucking easy, bro. Don't worry about this. And then they go into the chaos mode, and you're like, oh, what the fuck's this? And it lowers your max health when they put chaos on you. And this dude just started fucking healing. I had him down to like a third health. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna heal up to half. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? And the time I beat it, didn't get to heal. I'm like, oh, thank God. Bosses that heal, can you fuck off? Can you not put this shit in my fucking games, you cunts? I'm so angrily passionate tonight. So many C-bombs, but
Yeah.
I just don't want bosses healing. That's it. I feel like I'm not asking for too much. Yes, I have mechanics I can heal. I also have like 80% or not even 80%, 80 times less health than this guy, all right? He kills me in 3 shots. I kill him in 300 shots. This is not fair. This is not a fair comparison. So we can heal, they can't. I think that's better. Other than that, like I say, that boss didn't take me too many attempts because they stopped healing. I think that this might be my second favorite non From Software like Souls like. Maybe. Lords of the Fallen, the reboot. Once I really got into that, I did really enjoy it. Neo's got good stuff in it, but Neo falls a little short, and there's a lot of loot in this, but there's way too much loot in Neo. You're spending the entire time like fucking doing inventory management and going through your bag and selling shit, and you're like, oh, just give me less loot to manage. And I would like it a lot more. But this is up there. Like I say, maybe just below, maybe just above Lords of the Fallen, and then Liza P. I'm like, oh, that you are the GOAT non From Software Souls like. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully I'll get a bit of time on the weekend to play it, get a few hours in. Yeah. So what about you, mate? What are you playing? What are you dabbling?
Balatro.
Yeah. No,
I like to play it, especially when I just want to be listening to something on YouTube, like some slop or something, and it's just something to play, but also I get just really into it.
Yeah, and you can unwind playing games like Balatro.
100%.
I completely understand. Yeah, wicked. And then we are playing Baldur's Gate 3. You know, whether you go to twitch.tv, rect_tech, or you go to bosscunt.nz, because then we renewed the domain, baby. We're back for another year.
Yeah.
bosscunt.nz. Let's go. Let's make it happen. I want to use that for something at some stage than just routing to my Twitch. But yes, more Baldur's Gate 3. We've got loot goblins. We've got men who have never been on boats. We've got just pieces of shit like me, and then we've got saints like Scrib. So you know,
come by, say good day. And Chris is the only person watching this, and he's like, yeah, I'm already there, mate. What do you mean, come by? So we're going to end the show with a couple of Steam reviews, as we like to do. This here was The Last of Us Part 2, and someone said, the game is very immersive. Your GPU works so hard rendering individual raindrops that you can feel the humidity rising in your room. By hour 2, your PC is covered in condensation, and by hour 5, mushrooms start growing on your keyboard. For the whole experience, keep a brick on your desk and throw it at your monitor every time your frame drops below 60.
Poetic.
That was by Jin. I feel like this is the person with the same name as the last one, but it's not the same person, I don't think. But Jin, Jinn. I liked that review a lot. There was a lot of charm to that, while also bitching about performance in the same review. But just even having the brick on your desk, because very, very Last of Us of whacking the zombies, or what do they call them in that? The brick. I guess they all had their own names. So you had
I just remember
clickers. Your clickers. Yeah, clickers were cool. Clickers scare the fuck out of me, man. That whole echolocation kind of thing that they use, and they hear you, and they just. I guess it's not echolocation. They are just blind, but they're just clicking in the dark, and they're just blind, and you throw like a bottle, and they freak out and run in that direction. They make me very uncomfortable. That's a great enemy. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. What do you got for us, Stephen?
So mine is a short and sweet review from Min Huzzle for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And that's picking apples and mining diamonds while Gohan is kidnapped, and there's not an ounce of remorse in my body.
Father of the year right there. We love a bit of Goku.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
It's every Dragon Ball Z game, you'd boot up you get in the menu, hey, it's me, Goku. You're like, hey, Goku.
It's like,
I hope you're doing well.
we know.
All right. Before we go, Stephen, is there anything else you want to say?
I touched on this the last time. Been playing a rebooted MMO, Ultimate Dragon Ball Online. The community is really good, and they've been pumping out some exclusive content, like they'll do draws, like prizes, and one of the prizes was someone made the Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku set, and it looks sick, and the community's great. I've done some dungeon runs with some strangers. 2 strangers helped me get the Great Saiyan Man and Saiyan Man 2, or Saiyan Woman armor set.
So, say a person.
Right? Sorry. Yeah, I didn't think for a private server revive that there'd be that many people. There are. A lot of them are real helpful if you like grindy Korean games with a Dragon Ball Z sticker on it. It's cool.
Hell yeah, brother. All right. That's going to wrap up episode 7 of No Scrubs. So thank you very much for anyone who's still here. Follow our socials. Well, follow my socials. Stephen doesn't really have many. Follow No Scrubs for updates. I don't know, mate. Maybe I'll be more active on them. I should fucking try. But thanks for sticking through it. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Sure.
Thank you for your time.